1 walk, but 3 hit by pitches. That has made it a 7-2 ball game. Now Tyler Katz up to pitch for the Seagulls here in the bottom of the second. A 5-run advantage for the Seagulls. Looking at Katz, he's performed exceptionally well in his 11 total appearances that he's faced in his freshman campaign, hailing from Chantilly, Virginia, graduating from the high school of the same name. Katz a .77 ERA, a 1.29 whip. He has made a start this year, but it's his relief appearances that have really impressed. 11 2/3 innings, 7 hits, only 1 run allowed in the entirety of his season. But that was most recently against Randolph-Macon back on the 11th when they were in Ashland, Virginia.
And plenty of appearances for the freshman Cats, but the one question mark is always, how long can you keep him out there? He's only went for 2 innings once, and that was against NC Wesleyan. Every other time it's been 1 inning or less. A couple times a little over an inning, but we'll see what his pitch count looks like today and if he can survive out there, because Salisbury would love to go through today without having to use every arm in their bullpen.
We mentioned Salisbury at the tail end of a long stretch of days with consecutive games. It all started with a April 11th matchup in Ashland that I mentioned earlier, 8-5 loss to the Yellow Jackets. That was last Saturday. Then they played in here on Sunday against Randolph-Macon, and they played, of course, against Shenandoah yesterday, and now today against Neumann. They don't play again, though. They do get a little bit of an extended break. The next time that the Seagulls will take the field is against Mary Washington on April 18th, so they'll have a 4-day layoff. Katz tries to tab the outside edge and misses. A lot of times you usually see Tyler Katz as a late game reliever. There's been a couple of times where he's come in and finished off some 2 combined pitcher outings with Villa or whoever happened to be the starter. And now he's got a 2-1 count here against Donovan Brooks. Brooks was also hit by a pitch to lead off the game, the first 2 batters that were plunked by Walter. Nice bounce back from Katz, though, as he evens up the count at 2-2.
Nice job responding there. You get the 2 balls early, but bring it back to 2-2 like you mentioned. Nice progression there by the freshman.
Yeah, Blake Decker at second base and Anthony Rackets at first as inherited runners. With 1 down, and the 2, 3, and 4 of Newman's lineup due up should Salisbury not be able to turn the double play. Salisbury has done a pretty good job at fielding the double play, however, this year. 27 to this point. The 2-2 freezes Brooks, but it's just a little bit too high, just above the letters on the Knights jerseys. That gold Neumann across the front of their road navy kits. Gray trousers for the Knights. 3-2. Outside edge, strike 3 called. First strikeout of the day from either Seagull pitcher as Donovan Brooks registers the backwards K.
First strikeout while looking we've seen today. A nice showing there for Katz in his first pitch, first series.
And the first strikeout that we've seen out of any pitcher, even counting Harless, as everything has either been hit into play, a hit by pitch, or a base hit single, or a double in some cases from Joan Feliz. Katz trying not to fall behind any more than he already has. A 2-0 count now to Nick Cizelka, who grounded out as a sacrifice hit to advance Rackets and Brooks in the first. Katz the 2-0. Nice bounce back as the count now runs to 2-1 with 2 outs. Katz readying the 2-1 and fires home. This is hit into play, but instead will drift out. Wind not strong enough to keep that one in as it just goes above the roof of the Seagull dugout to the left of us. So it's Deuces Wild, 2-2 count with 2 outs. And, of course, in inning number 2. The Knights have already played a 2 as well. Cats looking to hold him to that. The 2-2 is swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Tyler Katz. Ends the top of the second and takes us to the bottom half, where Salisbury is hoping to continue the momentum from the 7-run first inning that they were able to have to start off their offensive scoring today.
It's been excellent so far. Salisbury had some great momentum, a great job responding after allowing 2 runs here in the second. Now they get to
They outscore the Seagulls 2-1 in the second to make it a 8-2 ball game heading into the top of the third. We'll see how Neumann can continue to try and get to Tyler Katz, the new pitcher, right after this on the Seagull Sports Network. We welcome you back to Salisbury University Baseball on the Seagull Sports Network. It's Salisbury 8, Neumann 2 as we go into the third inning of today's contest, which is sponsored by Evolution Craft Brewing Company. Stop by Evo's Public House after the game. It's the official post-game perch of the Seagulls. Today's game is also sponsored by Adams Tap House Grill and Black Diamond Lodge. Stop by Adams Tap House Grill on game day. It's where Seagulls fly. Tyler Katz back towing the slab for the Seagulls here in the third after he went through the second inning, surrendering 2 runs. As we'll see Neumann with a chance to try and respond. They'll go 4, 5, and 6 with Joe Basio leading things off. It'll be Basio, Schuler, and Arbinger. As we mentioned, Salisbury not exactly the strongest in conference to this point. They're 0-2 with their matchups against Mary Washington and Christopher Newport. A 7-2 and 2-0 loss, respectively, against the Eagles and Captains. As the first pitch into Baccio finds the zone from Katz. Seagulls are looking to stay alive in the 5-team coast-to-coast conferences. They currently sit 4th in terms of conference record. You have the Regent Royals, who are a perfect 3-0 against Johnson and Wales Charlotte. So they sit on top with a 1,000 winning percentage, while Mary Washington hails at 2-0 through 2 games played, one of which, of course, being that Salisbury game.
For Salisbury, it's really disappointing to see them be 0-2 in conference to this point, considering both those games were at home. If you're going to split with your rivals, you like to win those home contests.
As here's a punch from Baccio out towards center. Did Ruiz make the catch? Yes, he did. What an excellent play from Ethan Ruiz out in center, making the diving catch to steal away a surefire base hit from the leadoff man.
Just an impressive diving catch there. Laying out, putting his body on the line to grab that one, get the out. There's not too many players at Division III who could make that type of play. Ethan Ruiz is one of them.
And Ruiz not even inherently a center fielder by trade. He's typically a second baseman, but of course with how Salisbury's infield has shaken out with Max Earhart there at second, it left no real room for him in the starting lineup unless he switched to an outfield position, with all 3 of Salisbury's outfielders last year not returning, with Burroughs, Kell, and B.K. Wilson. It's Wilson who ends up having his spot taken after graduating from Ethan Ruiz, as the umpires will go and converse. I don't know if they're attempting to decide if he offered at that on the hit by pitch, which of course would keep him in the at-bat, and they will award him first base. They'll say that he held up. Of course, that's the appeal that the base umpire would make. He had the best look to see if Jerval Schuler broke the plane, which evidently he did not, so he'll go ahead and stand on first base after the hit by pitch when Tyler Katz's offer that ran inside. Now that brings up Jackson Armiger, who walked his last time up, to lead off the second. So Cats operating with a 1-0 count against Armiger. No action in either bullpen after both teams have made a change with their starting hurlers. Still, it has only been freshmen who have seen the mound today. Schuler 2 of 3 on stolen base attempts this year, as the 1-2's punched foul. And again, you have Jackson Armiger, who's having an outstanding freshman season, batting .411 with a .992 OPS. Up at the plate trying to advance him, or at least get him one step closer in scoring position. With a 2-2 count, he'll likely not see any sacrifice hits, to which he has 2. Said he'll be trying to swing his way on base or swing his way into advancing Schuler. And he does just that. A line out to Earhart. Potential double play back to first. They got it. What a heads-up reactionary play from Max Earhart at second base to go along with an outstanding defensive play from Ruiz, who started this whole thing off in center.
Wow, just crazy defense there. The leaping snag out of the air to get the initial out. Then the awareness to be able to throw it over to first while still in the air to record the second one.
And we welcome you back to Salisbury University Baseball on the Seagulls Sports Network. Mike Greco alongside my broadcast partner Carter Bradley, as Salisbury Athletics is fired up to partner with Crimson Coward. This Nashville hot chicken restaurant brings the heat to our community just like our Seagulls bring the heat to the game. From country to burn, baby burn, Crimson Coward serves up authentic Nashville-style chicken that will fuel your game day spirit. Whether you're celebrating a big win or need comfort food after a tough game, Crimson Coward has got you covered with flavors that pack a punch. Crimson Coward, where bold flavor meets Seagull pride. Tyler Katz back out to pitch in the 4th inning for Salisbury after coming in relief of Mason Walter. It's a 8-2 advantage that the Seagulls currently hold, as leading things off for Neumann will be the bottom third of their lineup. 7, 8, 9, the Knights will go starting off with Joan Feliz, followed by Brody Foltz and Blake Decker. Feliz, the last time up, had a screaming double before coming around to score.
Joan Feliz, the power's never been the question. He's homered twice this year, 6 doubles coming into today. Sometimes it's just the consistency. Has the lowest average of qualified batters on this Neumann team. If he can just get a little bit more consistent at the plate, he could be a real threat and a guy who could maybe see himself move up in this Neumann lineup.
1-1 misses low. Continuing my point of the Atlantic East Conference, Neumann sitting 5th. They're behind Immaculata after dropping 2 of 3 games against the Mighty Mac. As the 2-1 is skied foul. This might have a chance to stay in play for Shirk. It will not. It'll coast foul. But you have Marywood, who's leading the way there with a 6-3 Atlantic East record. Look at Neumann, though. They're handling themselves pretty good in terms of their normal regular season record. They've got the 2nd highest winning percentage among Atlantic East Conference teams with a .587 clip at a 13-9 and 1 record. Their lone tie came at home against Penn State Berks, as there's a called strikeout for Tyler Katz to sit down the leadoff man, Joan Feliz.
Tyler Katz out here for his 3rd inning on the mound now. Officially his longest time at the mound as a Seagull. Been really effective today in relief.
His 3rd strikeout coming of the number 7 hitter is now that brings up Brody Foltz. Starting backstop, who was able to advance the base runners with a sacrifice hit the last time up. That brings up a 0-1 count with now 1 down. So with Cats nobody on and one down, only 7 base hits have been scattered between these two ball clubs, but 3 errors from Neumann have really helped Salisbury get things started, and it also has been helped in large part by the hit by pitch department, which we see another one of there, as Brody Fultz now stands on first base after the plinking. That goes as the now 5th total Neumann batter hit by a pitch. Sometimes it comes in droves, I suppose. As now with a runner on first base, Katz has his first pitch punched out and towards center. The Knights will go station to station after Blake Decker gets himself his first base hit of the day. He was hit by a pitch his last time up.
Nice hitting there, swinging on that one, putting it over to center field. We just saw Ethan Ruiz make a nice play last time out, but now he comes in and is able to still test him, makes a nice play against the second baseman.
So now with runners on first and second base and only one down, Cats hoping to protect this 6-run lead that the Seagulls currently operate with. The first pitch into the leadoff man, and Anthony Rackets is popped high towards the right side. Newton continuing to go back before he makes the catch. That will allow the Knights to tag up, and now they have runners on the corners following the somewhat sacrifice fly. And now advances Fultz to third as Blake Decker stands on first. Donovan Brooks now standing in. He was the first strikeout victim of the day between both sides. Neumann accounts for all 3, however. After it was Katz who was able to come in and really effectively shut down the second inning after they started scoring. Back-to-back strikeouts of Brooks and Cizelka to end the second frame. Of course, a very, very bright and hot day here on the Eastern Shore. 83 degrees, but that sun is unforgiving. Not a lot of clouds in the sky to give cover to us, give cover to the players, and most certainly to our laptop. So if we're experiencing any technical difficulties on the live stream or any slowness, that's something that we're aware of. We've got a Gatorade towel on it, so hopefully it'll start cooling down a little bit. Just bear with us as we're toughing this thing out just like everybody else is. As the 1-1 home, ground ball over towards the right side. It gets past Shirk, fielded by Earhart, and nobody's home. That'll go down as a base hit in the infield after Shirk maybe misplaced it and came off the bag when he didn't really need to. Either way, though, it goes down as a base hit. Now you have runners on first and second base after the RBI single.
Again, the sun playing a factor there, maybe just losing where the ball is, comes off the bag when he really shouldn't. It's really tough to play in with the sun in your eyes like you will have to when you're defending here in Donnie Williams.
As here's the 1-1 punch over towards the right side. Fielded by Earhart. Shirk is on the bag this time around, and the damage is held to 1 in the top half of the 4th. We'll go to the bottom half with the Seagull lead now down to 5. It's the bottom of the 4th as Salisbury will have the chance to try and claw themselves back here on a very sunny Tuesday afternoon. We'll be back here on the Seagull Sports Network right after this with the bottom of the 4th inning.